going to go straight into it today, guys. I just wanted to introduce you and welcome you to the Changing Thoughts podcast. I'm your host, Brendon St.Catherine. No, I'm not named after the parish in Jamaica. This is just my surname and that's just who I am. So yeah, we're here. We're just going to get straight into it, right? Like, no lele, no long thing, none of that jazz. So, what are we going to get into? That is the question, right? What are we actually going to get into? So, I just want to talk a bit about how or why I'm here, or why this channel's here, why I've created Changing Thoughts, what that looks like, what it means to me, and yeah, kind of just take it from there. So, Changing Thoughts is a program, a vehicle, a vessel, a business, a charity, just something that I really wanted to create based on what I believe God has spoken to me about in terms of my purpose, my calling, and some things that He's placed on my heart. So before we go any further into this, yeah, I am Christian. I do believe in Jesus Christ, the death, the burial, and the resurrection. I do believe in salvation. I do believe in sanctification. I've been in the faith a long time, a really long time. I drifted away for like, drifted? What does that mean? Even what does drifted mean? But I was outside, I think it would be like 20 years, 15 years. So I was really dedicated to my faith in school time, secondary school, 13-ish, 14-ish. Bro, yeah, it's nearly 20 years. So I came back January of this year. I'm a member of the Tab London. Whoop, 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 whoop. And to all of my Tabites and everyone that is a member who has attended the house, you're going to know so much about the house and the foundation. Does that mean that I'm not going to talk about some stuff that's relatable to those that don't believe in God? I still am. I'm still gonna chop it up about some stuff that's gonna be relatable. My biggest hope for everyone is that they'll be able to take away something from this podcast as a believer or as a non-believer or someone that might be sitting in the middle. Yeah, so that is where I'm at. That is what I would like to do, and I want to talk now a bit about. I'm bare cueing myself. I want to talk a bit about what is the main thing that God has placed on my heart. And one of the biggest things that God has placed on my heart, guys, my heart, is identity, man. Like identity, like what does identity mean? So I'm bare clapping. What does identity mean? What does it look like? What does it feel like? How do we manage it? How do we consume it? How do we understand it? How do we operate in it? Like, what is identity? And more importantly, what He's placed on my heart is talking about identity to free people through revelation, through understanding, through shifts and changing and thought patterns in their mind, but also just to understand like what we're actually in, like what like we're I don't want to scare people, but the enemy, yeah, the devil, has been impacting identity in so many different ways that we just see it as casual now. Like we just see casual, like we believe, I'm even jumping ahead of myself. But we just believe things to be casual, right? And I think there's a challenge in how casual we think we can be with God, number one, how casual we think we can be with ourselves, number two, how casual we can be with others, number three, how casual we can be about understanding and managing who we are. Like in today's culture, you hear a lot of people saying, well, yeah, I was just angry, so I just done and all of these things. It's like, oh, well, really? Like, is there any maturity? Like, is there self-control? Are you emotionally mature? I'm not trying to attack anyone here. Right? I'm just speaking things out. But yeah, I truly feel like identity is under a crisis. If we want to be less funny and more serious about it, you can look at people that look like me that are younger in my community, outside of my community, what their behaviors and how society, I guess, punning them or naming them or describing or associating them to different behaviors, crime, stereotypical stuff, like just things that are not good, right? And I just feel like there's more of us need to speak about the stuff that we said we was going to speak about when we got these platforms. Something I want to speak on, which is where I was leading to earlier, is like before the times of YouTube, where did people like me and you, not even just based on skin color, but where did normal people like me and you have an opportunity to make impact from speaking? Like where was it? So surely, if we've got it now in abundance by just buying a camera, smartphone, whatever, how do we steward it? Like, how do we make sure that we actually are, how we are actually making sure that we're making content for people to change and to be better or to gain knowledge versus trying to get paid? Like, yeah, I said it. Trying to get paid, like trying to make content to get paid. How, I guess, on my journey, because obviously I'm not perfect and I've not always been a Christian, just on my journey, what those transitions look like, what did the shifts look like? How did I have to change? How did my behaviors change? Were they automatic or did I have to show intent? Like, what was my heart posture like? What does heart posture mean? And just starting to talk about some of these things, right? Because I also feel like there's a lot of people that want to make a change and make a shift, but they just don't know where to start. Like a lot of the people I speak to, I've spoken to, it's like, yeah, bro, like, or yeah, like, I'm about to say sis, I'm not a sis, crazy. But like, bro, like, I want to do these. But even people that are females will be like, bro, like, I just want to do these things, but I don't know where to start. And I just hope, like, another one of my hopes is that people will gain revelation from the conversations had. It won't just be me, there'll be guests as well. And people will just be able to be like, all right, cool, I'm going to start here. Or I've already got up to this point and I'm going to go here. Or whatever, whatever, whatever. But one of the biggest things that I say to everyone, if you know me, you've heard this, is in order for you to know where you're going, you need to know where you've been. In order for me to have changed and gone from that Brendon to this Brendon, I needed to look at where I was to understand where I wanted to go. So until you do that, you're going to really struggle. So I would invite everyone and encourage everyone just to look at where you've been. Our Pastor Mike White, talks about soil. So your start off in life. It's like, what is your start off in life? What does it look like? You can condensify it into situations. You can condensify it into topics like work. Where did I start my career? Where am I trying to go? Where am I? Do you get what I mean? And then you can build out left. You can, oh, that's right. I believe it's left to you guys, and build out left, and then that's right. Anyway, you get the message, right? You can do something with it instead of just feeling like there's so much on top of you that you can't move left, right, up, down, diagonal, whatever. So the first thing I would say is check out where you've been. What have you been doing? Where you at, or where have you been? Where are you trying to go? So you can make movement forward. Another thing that I wanted to speak on, and in terms of identity, is that what I believe and what I feel is that people don't know who they are, and this is a big thing. This is a big challenge for the believer and for the non-believer, and for everyone, anyone in general. Like, you just don't know who you are, right? You think you know, you think you don't know. And I think at the moment there's an illusion of excess freedom, like freedom of speech. I can say whatever I want because I belong to this community, or I'm representing this demographic, or this trauma, or this hurt, or this pain. So I can just say what I want. And I think that is giving people the illusion of freedom. But if you knew who you was, would you even be saying those things? And like, you're probably thinking, what is this guy talking about? And I was thinking about this earlier, and I just came up with Finding Nemo, right? Disney. Don't ask me why. But so when Nemo went into the little tank, for those that have seen it, there was a couple fishes, and let me not get into the detail of that. But they knew where they came from, right? They knew that they didn't belong in a tank. They knew that there was more to life, right? So everything that they done was to try and get to that position of belonging, or going back to what it is that they knew. But let's just say, for example, if they didn't know, if what they thought was the truth, i.e., they believed that they were meant to be in the wild, in the sea. If, let's say, for example, they believe, obviously that's true, right? Fishes are meant to be in the sea. Obviously, humans, we like to put them in our little bubbles and do what we want to do with them. But let's just say that they thought that they needed to be in the toilet. Hey, let's just say they thought they needed to be in the toilet. Would that movie just be different? Right, you would have Finding Nemo, like, I guess a Christian, right? Saying, you need to go to the sea. I've been in the sea. Da, 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 da. These are all of the things. These are all of the good things. These are the promises. This is the truth. This is the light. But then you'd have the fishes that are, I guess, do you want to call it the world, the tank, in a confined space. They'll be like, no, we're trying to go to the toilet. Like, we're trying to be in the toilet. And I'm probably saying toilet in a mad way because I remember when I was younger, my family members used to get onto me about it and stuff. But we want to go to the laboratory. We want to go to that place where there's, yeah, I keep going that way, but yeah, where there's all of these things. But what I'm trying to get you to think about is like, number one, that would make a crazy story, and the film would be really short, and there'll be a lot of confusion, right? The fishes would have got to the toilet and thought that they were happy, but deep down they would have known that they don't have peace. So like, again, my encouragement to you is like, do you have peace? Like, honestly, I don't even know all of you that are watching this, but do you have peace? No, not that fake peace that you need to top up every 5 minutes and you know where it comes, or it's a bit transactional, let's say, for example. I'm not going to talk about New Age, but do you have peace? If the answer is yes, great. I love that for you guys. I don't even like saying that word, that phrase. It's a bit weird. It's a bit strange for me. I'm a 1991 baby. But anyway, I love that. But if you don't, it's like, is it because you're in the toilet? Is it because you don't know who you are? Like, is it because you're putting too much time into the things that don't align to your true identity? Like who you are. Like who you are. There's another analogy that I wanted to use, which was around a stallion. Like, a stallion would think that they're free, right? So you'd think you're free in the owner's field. There's 10 acres in the field. He's running around, he's doing his thing, he's got all of the land, the 10 acres, he's living life. But if that stallion knew of the wild where there's 1,000,000 acres where he can go and do what he needs to do, would he then feel that he was free? Or would she then feel like she was free? And I guess what I'm encouraging you is, or trying to illuminate, is that the mind, this right in here, if it's not focused on the truth, then we can end up in all types of positions and places that we're not meant to be in, right? I used to be one of those individuals. Again, I'm saying I'm not perfect. I used to be one of those individuals. Right, I'm about to put myself on blast. I didn't even plan for this, man. Hey, I didn't even plan to put myself on blast. But I'm just going to put it out there, right? I used to be one of the guys that always thought that, all right, cool, when I get a mortgage, with my partner, my significant other, whoever it was at the time, then I'll be faithful. Then I'll be able to be faithful. Or we would have a child, or something significant would happen, and then magically it will just boom happen. Obviously, it's a bit naive, it's a bit silly, and all of those different things. But again, I'm just talking about examples so that you guys can see, like, and obviously there's going to be a lot of people like, oh my gosh, why are you doing that? Why did you do that? I get it, I hear it. Like, it's it's BC life, before my before my baptism in February. But obviously it's not excusable. And I would have to give account to it one day, do you know what I mean? But anyway, not about me, it's about us, it's about our journey. I just want like to illuminate that, like, where was I headed? Like, where was my, like, with that thought process, where was I going? It wasn't until I had to change my trajectory, change my thinking, change what was indoctrinated into me based on what I had seen, what I'd been exposed with, what we see on social media, and obviously some of the conversations that happens in closed doors, that happen in all communities, right? And I just had to be truthful, like, do I actually believe in the stuff that I'm living by? Do you guys believe in the stuff that you're living by? Do you believe it? Because I know I didn't, but I still acted on it thinking that something was going to help me and save me. It wasn't until I got friends, I got wise counsel. Not to say I didn't have friends before, of course I had friends before. And not to say that my friends were influencing me, before people start doing background work and doing CSI stuff on things that don't concern them, but instead of doing the CSI work on themselves. But anyway, I got a new set of friends. I got Christian friends. I got people that lived by the word, knew the word, understood the word, and were able to give me not just what I needed for myself and my ego, but also they just gave me the truth from the word, from the text. So it's like, once I went to them and spoke to them, I might as well just hell you out, bro. One time I went to my boy Ira, spoke to him about something. He probably don't even know who he is. Dope author, dope guy. I'm gonna give you a little caption underneath below so you can go check his podcast out. But I used to often go to him to speak to him like in the early days. It still is early, but in the early days, just to see like to recalibrate. Like, is what I'm thinking right? Is what I'm doing right? This is hard. Like, I want to give up. Like, and everyone needs wise counsel. Everyone needs number one, God. The second one, the Word. And everyone needs wise counsel. You need friends. You need, and again, I would encourage not even just the believers, but the non-believers to have friends that are not gonna. And some people might have this, man. I might be talking all of this stuff, and you might just have it all solved out. But if you don't, then I would encourage you not just to have friends that say stuff that make you feel good. Like, we're in this society where we're like, yeah, feel good culture is it's great, but is it though? Is it challenging you? Is it changing you? Is it allowing you to do more than just what we say we want to do in this world? Like, oh, get money, get cars, and pay bills, and like, what about growth? What about stimulation? What about maturity? But yeah, that's all from me from today. Really and truthfully, I don't even know how long I've been talking for. I don't know how long I've taken of your time. But I just hope everyone has a blessed day, a blessed night, whatever the time is. And I just ask, no, I just not even just ask. I hope that you've gained something from this. Yeah, that you've gained something from this, and you've gained something in terms of what you're gonna change. Do you know what I mean? And I just hope that your minds, your thoughts, and your patterns and your behaviors will be changed and corrected through changing thoughts. I'm your host, Brendon. Have a good night, guys. Bye bye.